Christina Brown here with the Brown team at Sage Door Realty. Do you own a home? Do you have home equity? What even is home equity? What can you do with it? Why is it important? That's what we're going to talk about today. First of all, what is equity? It is the difference between what your home is worth and what you owe on your home, to give it a quick definition. So if you paid $150,000 for your home 10 years ago and your home is now worth $300,000 and your mortgage is paid down to where you owe $125,000, you then have $175,000 in equity, roughly. So that's the quick math on it. So the difference between what it's worth and what you owe is your equity. Most homeowners have very little to no equity when they first buy a home, especially if they use a no money down loan or a very low down payment for like 3% conventional for first time home buyers. If you get help in one of the first time home buyer programs where you have no money down, or you're a veteran, or even FHA where it's 3.5% down, your equity may be very minimal starting out. But if you put down a huge down payment from the beginning, maybe you sold a house to buy the house you're in, you could have equity, or if you've been in your house a while, typically. So that's how you get equity. How do you figure out what your equity is? Because the biggest unknown is, what is your home worth? Well, obviously the easiest and best way is, hopefully you still have a relationship with a realtor who helped you. If not, we'd love to help you. We help people with this all the time. So a realtor can take a look at the comps, see what's sold, what's similar, what will it appraise for. Those are things we can look at. If it is a really tricky property and it can be really challenging to value, it's so unique and you just can't find anything, you can also hire an appraiser to figure out what it's worth. But my best advice is start with a realtor. They can do it, and I always do it for free. So most realtors I know will do that for free, completely free. Don't have to pay for an appraisal. And then you can figure out what you owe on your mortgage to get a good idea of how much equity you have. So why is it important? Well, first of all, you have to know that your equity can change over time, right? There are factors that are going to change your equity. Of course, the main factor is, as you're making payments, you pay it down. That is going to give you more equity because you're going to owe less on it and it's going to be worth more. So your payments, also your home value going up over time. Real estate, typically, generally speaking, unless you're in a declining area, will always appreciate over time. So as you pay payments down and your value rises, you're gaining more and more equity every day that you're living in your home. So those are two main factors that change it. The other thing that is a factor is the market. So if it's a really hot market and things are selling for way over and people are outbidding each other, that's going to drive values up super fast. So the market will affect home values, which is going to give you even more equity. And then the last thing too is any home improvements you make. So if you remodel the master, if you add on a whole guest wing to your home, or you finish your basement, or whatever the case may be, you make those home improvements, that's going to make your home worth more. So again, that's going to increase equity in your home. So those are factors that can change it. Why would you want to know what your equity is? You can use that equity to put down, to use your home as collateral, to get something called a home equity line of credit. So that is a great option for certain people in certain instances. The few things that I see it used for the most is, number one, of course, home improvement. You may have been in your home 20 years and never updated a thing, and now you're like, man, my kitchen is hideous. I have a bathroom that's disgusting. I don't have the money to pay for these improvements. Use your home equity. Get a home equity line of credit and use it for home improvements. You can also consolidate debt. If you went through some hardships or lost your job or had some medical expenses or kids in college, just life happens, you can use it to consolidate debt and help in that area as well. And the other thing too is, of course, we've done this where we've used equity in a property to use that equity to put down on another property, like if you want to start purchasing investment properties Or maybe you own investment properties. Take the equity out of some of them and purchase more real estate. So you can use the equity to purchase real estate. You can use the equity to start a business. If you have been wanting to have your own business, this could be a great way to get those funds. So there's pros and cons to using a home equity line of credit. First of all, you have to know that it's a line of credit. It's revolving, right? So let's say you get $100,000 in a line of credit. Let's say you're going to use $20,000 on a bathroom, $30,000 on your kitchen. You've used $50,000. As you start paying it off, that will grow back up again, and you still have more funds you can play with. So it's a revolving line of credit you can use as you need it, but you want to use it wisely. You have to be very careful, because the cons are you're using the equity in your home for these purchases or for this debt or for improvements and so forth. So when you go to sell your home, know that these loans have to be paid off. If you have a home equity line of credit, that has to come right off the top. If you owe a mortgage, the title company will pay that off with your proceeds. If you have a home equity line of credit, the title company will pay that off with your proceeds. So just know that when you sell your home, you're going to have less because you've spent the money in this way. However, if you're using it to improve your home is going to be worth more anyway, so it can be very wise, and that's why I think we see it used in that way the most. So using it to improve your home is a great way to do that and make your home worth more. But if you're using it to consolidate debt, make a big purchase, go on vacations, things like that, just know you're using your equity. So when you go to sell your home, you may not have much, if any, money in your pocket at the end of the sale. So just be mindful of that. If you're spending your equity while you live in your house, enjoy it, love it, but don't complain about it when you sell, right? Those are decisions you're making. So you want to be mindful of that. Most of the time, lenders will have a minimum equity requirement. They're going to want to see that you have typically at least 10, 15, 20% of equity in your home before they let you borrow it, okay? And then of course, because your home is collateral in this situation, doing a home equity, you do run the risk of foreclosure if you cannot make your payments. You do not make your payments, so you must make your payments. You don't want to lose your house this way. So be very wise. You can always pay off your home equity line of credit if you make improvement, and then that way the money's sitting there, and if you haven't used the equity, then great, you won't owe it. So you only owe what you use, what you borrow, what you spend. So of course the pros are you could get better interest rate. It's very easy to use. It's revolving line of credit, so if life happens, it can be set up as an emergency fund. So it is a good idea to set up a home equity line of credit, then leave it untouched until you have an emergency situation. If you don't have emergency funds any other way, this could be a great way to do it, where then you're not using high interest credit cards that are going to eat you alive on what you're spending to borrow that money. Of course, there's tax advantages, and because it's a line of credit, it gives you flexibility. So you can use it all different ways. I just say, remember, you're putting your home on the line. So make sure that what you're using it for is worth it, that you be responsible, that you don't look at it as just extra money to spend. It should be money you spend wisely. So real estate can be a wise investment. This is an example of how owning a home can help you. So don't forget, you may have home equity you can tap into. Reach out. Happy to help answer questions. Y'all have a great day.